Lone Wolf Customs, once again, Charger. Alright, here's what I'm doing. This car came factory with ABS. Now, some of these cars, not Chargers, that I know of, by my research, some of these cars in the 300s and in the Magnums came non-ABS. Now, I have no idea if this would, if you try to do this on your factory Hemi car, Charger, or whatever, I don't know if there's going to be any issues or programming or anything you have to deal with. Since mine's a complete standalone, I can do this. I'm going to put this part in, which eliminates the ABS. The 2005 up 300s, at least first gens, and the Magnums that came with a 2.7 base model, base, were optioned with no ABS, which, there's the numbers on this thing. And I got the Hoot lines just because I didn't know if the fittings were the same. I think they are. But I'm going to unhook this, and I'm going to put non-ABS on here. Because I don't want ABS. You know, if you want ABS, keep ABS. But I don't want it. I don't like half the darn electronical bull that's on this car from factory. And eventually, even more of it may disappear. But there's your part numbers if you need it. Rough, you're looking for a older body, but 300 or Magnum that had a 2.7 liter in it that was a base model. You might be able to look up that part number online, find the part. Don't know. I found that one in a junkyard. Funny enough, I found that on a Dodge Charger in the junkyard, but it had a tag on it where it was bought at a junkyard to be put on, so somebody already did this before me. I don't know what issues, if there's any, that would happen on a factory car, but in my case, nothing that I'm doing here should affect anything in my situation, and if it does, well, I'll have to address that after I do it. But I guess I'll give you some more information as I go along. Alright, got it out. The plug was a bit of a pain because it's one of those wingy tops. So there's some clips here you push and then you pull this upper piece and it comes off. But little rubber grommets down there, that's what that pops into, which is the same as this one. The lines are in the same locations, so you know, it's not rocket science. A little harder because I got this shit in my way, but not by much. Now, the whole reason I'm doing this is I hate ABS. When I was a kid, we had a Buick, late 80s, early 90s Buick, had ABS. Nice car. My stepdad loved the car. We were coming back from church, and we probably weren't doing maybe 40. Dry day, no problem. Darn horse walks out in front of us, pops out behind a barn, and we're probably at least a good at least a bus and a half, maybe 2 bus lengths away from the horse when it walks out in front of us. Well, stepdad, he locks her up, and you can feel the ABS kick in where it's going burp, 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 not squealing the tires or nothing. And we just nudge right into the darn horse. Destroyed the car and all that. And then after I got my license and I started driving cars and stuff, which of course, didn't have ABS because they were too old. Freaking, I could be doing the same speed that we were doing then and everything on about anything, even with shit brakes. hammer the pedal, and I'd come up stopping a whole lot further than, I mean, a lot better stopping than what did with that damn ABS. And I drove so many cars without ABS for so many years, I know how to actually stop a darn car with no ABS. I might be sideways, but I know how to stop them. And ABS, it might be alright on wet roads, and it may be alright when it comes to snowy roads, but it ain't a big deal if you just learn how to freaking use them. I mean, drive. Which is a problem that we're getting into these days. There's some numbers. If anybody wanted to know anything about an ABS unit. But, we're getting to the point these days with all this electronical bullshit on cars that people just don't know how to drive them. If you take somebody that's learned their whole life on one of these new modern day cars, it's all electronic and does everything for them, you put them in an old car, they'll get themselves killed. Because people just don't know how to drive a car. It's a reason why majority of people out here can't drive a manual. It's just the thing we're dealing with. But outside of that, I guess back when I'm putting that thing in there. Alright. And you tighten up your brake lines. At least in my case, they all fit, no problems. Just like it's meant to be. I just kind of tuck the plug out of the way down there. Now, of course, you do this, you're going to have to bleed your brakes, which should be easier since you don't have ABS. Should be like bleeding your brakes on anything else out there, any old vehicle. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, obviously, don't, you know, kink the lines, don't cross thread the fittings, and all that. The lines, hooking the lines up were probably the biggest pain in the ass of the whole situation, and even then it wasn't that much of a real pain. You know, took a few minutes, you know. Literally, I think it took 15 to 20 minutes to do this from start to finish, from the start of me hitting record and doing the job and to now, other than me bleeding the brakes, it's done, which I'm not going to fool bleeding the brakes yet, but here it is. Fairly simple, and now it's not ABS. Now, I don't know if that will affect if you do this on your factory RT car, you know, your ABS car that has all the electronic shit from factory, if it'll freak out the motor or do stupid shit. I obviously probably put a check engine light. I don't know if you can go in there and tweak with the program to get rid of that shit or not. But I'm one of the few that might even be interested in doing this. And there might be a whole whopping few people out there that would even be considered of doing this. But, yeah. Just mounts up just like it's meant to be there. Now, if you've done something similar to this and you start it with a, you know, base 2.7, you know, car, which is actually what I was looking for when I freaking started this project, you know, that would already be there. But unfortunately, it wasn't, so I did what I had to do. Alright, thanks for watching. Hey, if you enjoy the videos and whatnot, hit the, you know, subscribe and all that. If, you know, hey, if you want to hit the like button or comment or whatever, you know, go for it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I can put another video out next week. Alright, bye.